it works. My name is Axel Ferrerol. I'm part of SAP. What I like about SAP is that SAP is a complex organization. And managing complexity is something that I like. I love it. I'm passionate about that. And there is a topic I want to address today, which is transformation. Transformation is probably, for me, the most complex element to look at from a sales enablement perspective and from a sales learning perspective. I would like to bring you some of the insights I've been investigating since 9 years that I hope you can bring, whether you have a complex organization or a simple startup organization at the moment, because I guess that transformation piece will help you go where you want to go. Little bit about me. I have a sales background, sales manager background. Then I moved to SAP and I developed during 5 years the European sales process and sales methodology. 9 years ago, I decided to move into enablement and learning. So I'm part now of the sales learning organization. And within that organization, I'm now in charge of the innovation globally for the 8,000 sales guys that we have, looking at how to put all the technology in place to manage these 8,000 salespeople around the 130 countries that we have. But I want to bring a sales learning perspective, not a sales enablement or sales operation perspective to that pitch. The first thing is, should we transform sales? When you look at the marketplace from an SAP perspective, being in the IT industry, the response is yes. The world is getting more complex, we all know that. There are new sales paradigms, and believe me, for SAP to move from on-prem to cloud was not an easy change, and to change the mindset of the salespeople is not given. Yesterday, I was listening to the speakers on the panel. That was extremely interesting. And I said, hey guys, you need to change the mindset. Well, whoa, I've been spending 9 years on that, and it's not easy. So I want to tell you about changing mindset. By the way, I'm also a coach with neuroscience expertise, and I can tell you, try to change a belief system, and then you call me. Customer knowledge has changed. 66% of the sales cycle is already done before they call you. So in the future, obviously, with AI, go with a tablet and do the whole sales training or the sales transaction directly. You need to rethink the way and the value that a salesperson will bring. Experience economy. SAP goes very deep in that with Qualtrics, but the fact is, only the company that delivers ultimate experience is actually getting the reward on investment. Finally, technology brings new sales engagement and sales models that you need to integrate in your process. Now, when you think about this, I call that selling and navigating the unknown. The sales guy should be able to work with customers, and the customer doesn't know where he needs to go, whether he will be Uberized, strategy doesn't work, and you need to be able to tell them, don't worry. We are SAP, we're here to help you from here to there, not knowing what is in between. Chaos management, complex adaptive system theory, complex stuff. Now, from a sales learning perspective, we have 100 people from global and regional. We look at the equation, and when I talk about complexity, it is complex. 8,000 people, 13 different roles, 24 industries, different tenure, different culture. And you need to compute that into a framework from a sales learning perspective. The good news is, when you look at it from a sales learning perspective, is that they all want the same stuff. They want to learn about relevant content. The problem is they want it just in time. I need to meet a CFO in retail, give me a CFO retail content, which create meta-tagging problem of data, by the way, on videos and all the assets that you build. Atawad, anytime, anywhere, any device, of course. Social and peers, oh yeah, please give me feedback from peer-to-peer, give me feedback from experts from the outside, make sure it's high quality. Back to the video question. And make it easy to use, of course, right? So what do we do from a sales learning perspective? Well, the first thing you need to realize is that salespeople are not learners. They hate it, right? So when you know that, you say, okay, why are you not? Yesterday I heard, guys, all the pre-sales should have the same training as sales. Well, we tried, it doesn't work. A sales guy wants to do something, they're activists, and then they reflect. Well, a pre-sales need to reflect and then do something. So if you do it, make sure that you reverse engineer the way you do it, because in a face-to-face workshop, you will not get the same result. So sales are not learners. Now, how do we address that? My job is to drive sales learning strategy. So I'm looking at the big picture as always, and I say, okay, first thing we need to know is where do we stand today? So in Q1, every year, we do an assessment of the skills, okay? We do the sales skills assessment for 8,000 AEs and 750 people. That, guys, will give you a few structure if you want to structure your sales learning approach. So you now identify sales skills gap and soft skill gap, plus industry gap and solution gap. We have 1,000 solutions and more, so it's a bit complex to do. We do that around 30 type of skills. Once you've done that, you move to, okay, what should you know? Learning and knowledge. What should you know? First thing I started, okay, there are strategic elements, let's create MOOCs. Right? I look at what Harvard was doing and all those guys. I created our own MOOC. We have a platform called OpenSAP. Here we go. I create MOOCs 4 weeks long. Sales come and say, too long. We cannot do 4 weeks. So I reduce to 1 week. They say, 1 week is okay, but it's still too long. Okay. Then we move to e-learning. E-learning is okay because it's flexible, it's changing, you can do it fast. We use a platform called Adapt. It's open source, easy to use, good quality, and you can refresh. Point is that sales says, 20, 30 minutes type of content is too long. Let's do micro-learning. So this year we've done 850 assets of micro-learning using videos. Amazing. By the way, we have colleagues from Allego here. We use Allego as our partner. Great platforms, Netflix type, and we deliver that through, Allego. The thing is, try to learn something complex on a 2 to 7 minutes video. Not easy. And by the way, knowledge is not enough. A sales guy, his value is at the point of interaction. They are not learners, they are not pre-sales, they are not consultants. So the question is, second level, right? You need to be able to apply. On the apply part, we worked on virtual live classroom. We have 78 type of virtual class, 90 minutes long, on Zoom or Subconnect or Skype, and you can learn about sales skills or soft skills. Fine. Top of that, I built simulators with AI where the guy can, especially commercial sales, can train and reflect. And we are now investigating AR and VR. I'm not sure about AR and VR for now because the AI behind it should be extremely advanced to be able to manage the complexity of sales. At that point, you say, okay, that's all good. Now you know a bit more. You have upskilled. So what's next? At SAP, in B2B environment, you cannot sell and be effective without the team. So networking is key. And not a single sales guy will not tell you, train me only on digital. They will say, get me in a room, let me go to a bar, let me discuss with my peers, let me exchange stories because I like to talk. So we go to the exchange level, which is this face-to-face workshop. What do we have? Global masterclass, 1 to 2 weeks in the US. Someone mentioned San Ramon. We have the same approach. We have then regional specialized workshop. Okay, you want to refresh on negotiation, 2 to 3 days. Each region do their own stuff. The Spanish speaking Spanish or the Chinese speaking Chinese. Obviously, they want to have their own programs. The academies for the new talent, right? It's a 6-month program in the US. We recruit 270 of them every year. And the onboarding, we need to manage 2,500 sales guys every year. So we have a very complex regional program of onboarding. Now, once you've done that, you say, wow. I don't know what you say, but I say, wow. Because to manage this, believe me, it takes 100 people. But I have a problem. I'm a professional in sales learning. I was a sales guy, so I look at the value. And the value is this. It doesn't work. I mean, it works. I will not say it doesn't work. But if you are a professional and you want to go to the end, the bottom of it, you need to understand resistance to change. How much of this is actually turning in business impact? And here I've done a full thesis on that, so that's what I want to show you. We all in sales learning work on something called It's Memorable. Did you enjoy the training? It was amazing, beautiful. Location was great, good fun, people are amazing, great speakers, slides are okay, and the drinks are good. You say, fine. Yet, are you using the content that you've learned? That's a different topic, guys. Are you asking me to use what we've learned? Seriously? No, I'm a sales guy. I'm a senior sales guy. I know selling. But the problem is, if you don't change the way you apply your knowledge, you might not get the business impact that you expect. My statistic is that we as a sales organization, sales enablement, are able to impact 10 to 15% of our sales guy. The problem is that those 10 to 15% are the ones who are intrinsically motivated. So you're not breaking the silo, you're not breaking the glass ceiling. And by the way, and that's what I'm always like to deliver training or presentation to you, is that anyway, you have the knowledge gap. After 48 hours, you forget 80 to 90% of everything I say. So I don't care because you're gonna forget that anyway. And the second point is, if you bring the knowledge back home, within 120 days, the usage gap comes in, and you stop using what you've learned within 120 days. So when you come to sales transformation, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. How do you break the knowledge gap? How do you break the usage gap? Okay? That's not easy, because we talk to human beings. So what did I do? The first thing maybe I ask myself is, what is transformation? When I talk to people, and I ask, what is transformation? And I'm asking you that question. If you can just reflect 15 seconds, what's the difference between change and transformation? Going back to a definition could help. Mezirov, who theorized the process of transformation, say, it's a sudden and deep-rooted shift in perception. You enter that room, beginning of that workshop, end of the workshop, you don't see transformation the same way. That's transformation. You cannot go back. A caterpillar that becomes a butterfly cannot go back to a caterpillar status, while change can. Change is a continuous process. So you need to understand that with transformation, there is a sense of loss. You lost the known to go into the unknown. There is a disorientation. You're a bit lost. You don't know where you want to go. From on-prem to cloud, seriously, what is cloud? Wow. New sales process, loyalty management, value realization, trust management, okay. Discontinued process. There is a beginning, there is an end. And that's what I like with training. You enter the training space, you leave the training space. And within this environment, you consciously bring into a transformative engine. The question is, what is the engine? Finally, modification of the worldview. As a sales guy, you need to be able to come to the point and realize that you need to change the way you sell. Otherwise, you don't transform. So I took that in. I said, okay, how do I apply that now at SAP? And first question, if you transform, you need to know into what you transform. What type of butterfly do you want your sales guy to transform into? Looking at the current situation of selling into the unknown, what I believe is that the future is purpose-driven, it's values-driven, and it's resonance-driven. I like the work of resonance because it's a law of physics. If you don't resonate with the company, with the salesperson, with the product, with the values, with the philosophy, you will not buy. Forget it. So you need to transform into this. Now, when you need to start somewhere, I said, okay, I will start with the frontline sales managers, because the frontline sales managers are the transmission belt between the strategy and the customer, and their multiplication effect, right? And I need to attack their leadership, their management, their communication, coaching, innovation, and sales, okay? And I said, okay, so I will start with this. Now, most of our sales guys, unless they are value-based seller in the global account, they are transactional people. They're going to sell license. I do not believe you can succeed in selling license anymore. We sell value. So you move from transactional to transformational. You need to bring something else, resonance. So now I know where I want to go, I know with whom I want to go, and now I need to create an engine. How do you create a transformative engine? Knowing that you already have everything I showed you from L0 to L3, right? Is it good enough? I don't believe that. So I said, well, to change the mindset, I need to balance between pragmatic content and academic content. I need to have a part of research. I need to break the silo of, oh, I know it all, and I need to bring fresh content. Second, something that I really realized since 20 years now, the pressure of the quarter kills the learning. The pressure of the quarter kills the learning. So I need to compensate the pressure from the inside, so that inside the training, there is enough inner pressure to compensate for the quarter pressure, okay? It should be holistic in the sense that it covers all the sales manager role, and it should be motivational enough for them to continue learning, because I want to have duration, because transformation takes time. Even though there is a start and a finish, it still takes time to go down to the belief system. And what I wanted to do is to motivate through a degree, academically recognized degree, and that didn't exist. Why didn't it exist? Why can't you find a master in sales? Because sales is not a profession. I went to all the biggest universities. They said, oh, yeah, we have a marketing course, and below marketing, there is sales. I said, sorry, guys. Doesn't work that way. 7% of the population are salespeople. They bring revenue. Without sales, there is nothing else. Give me an MBA on sales. Doesn't exist. I said, okay, I build it. That was 9 years ago, okay? As a shadow job, doing what I believe is best for SAP, I said, I'm going to create a master in science for frontline sales manager, first in world. Now, the problem is you cannot do that alone, right? It's a 2.5-year program, and I want to have a very pragmatic yet academic approach. Funnily enough, I was working with a partner called Consalia, based in the UK, who speaks 2 languages. They speak sales and talk to me, and they speak academia and talk to Middlesex University. Luckily enough, as always, Middlesex University are the one who invented action-based research, which is research applied for professionals. How lucky. So I went to Consalia and I went to Middlesex and said, well, guys, I want to create the first master for frontline sales managers. And they said, okay. So here I go, and that's the brochure, and I'm happy to share that with you. There is nothing confidential, I believe. So we embark on a 2.5-year program for a certain elite group. Believe me, not all of them want to be in that program. It's a big program, right? Yet, what happens is a mindset shift. Because they spend time reflecting, learning, investigating, revisiting, thinking innovatively about their own role, they start testing, researching, reflecting, and observing what they do. You cannot transform someone if he doesn't reflect. Reflection is at the core of transformation. You cannot do that without a framework which is pressurized, motivational, time-bound. And we got that. We got innovation coming from places we wouldn't expect. We got research, rethinking the sales process of all of the 13 roles done by those guys. We actually increased exponential revenue coming from simply collaboration, breaking silos, because SAP is still silo-driven. And we got this synergy of collaboration. More importantly for the guys, they got promoted twice or 3 times in 2 years. And I was like, seriously? Now, by the way, I designed that in 18 months with those guys, and because I wanted to test it, I did it as well. So I did the master on top, right, just to test it. That was a good experience. So the fact is, it's a 2.5-year long. It has a cost, right? There is a cost. That's why you don't do it for your full sales force. But the fact is that now more and more people come to me and say, Axel, I'm a sales executive, I'm a global account director, I want to be in your program. I say, you can't. No way. And they said, by the way, 2 years is too long, I'm a sales guy, turns, every 18 months, so make it shorter. I said, okay. So if you can do more, you can do less. So I'm now, and that's what I disclose to you, will be the new novelty 2020, I am creating the PG Cert, postgraduate certificate, still with Consalia and Middlesex. And I'm doing it not on leading sales transformation, but on leading key account, okay? Transforming key account. So I'm now going in that direction, 9 months, highly pressurized, academic, supervised type content for our sales guys, solution specialists, commercial sales, global account directors, and so on and so forth. 9 months, acceptable. In the meantime, I got contacted by market units and countries saying, Axel, that's all nice, but can you make it shorter? I say, yeah, with coffee and 2 whiskey, I do it for you, but it's like, what else do you need? They say, yeah, we have tactical needs. My guys are not able to sell the intelligent enterprise to CFO. And I'm like, bad luck. But then it made me think, can I apply what I learned from the masters, take the same ingredients, but put that on a quarterly shell? With a mix between physical and virtual environment. And I call that the Rapid Response Lab. So I'm working on that with Consalia at the moment. We try to see how to apply that. We have already 2 use cases for commercial sales. And we will bring everything that we know, and I put it here, no mystery. But no mystery requires some work. You need action-based research. You need academia, you need reflection, you need reflection in action, you need external monitoring, and believe me, the sales manager will not work. Stop going to the sales manager to do this, they can't. They are forecasting machine, pressurized numbers, they have enough to do, so they will not do it. And the pressurized environments remain key. You need to compensate for the external pressure of the quarter. Now, these 4 elements are the key to transformation, okay? So now I have this flexible, optional environment. We're gonna attack the managers, the AEs, and tactical market units. And we're gonna start driving transformation from the inside. That's where it starts infusing through research into our sales learning environment. And all the program from my peers who do the face-to-face or the onboarding will take some of the key discoveries and start infusing them in all the face-to-face high-value content. It becomes an incubation of research, innovation, and transformation. Funnily enough, last week when I presented that to my team, they said, well, Axel, it's cool because it solved one of the key problems. If you're an expert sales guy, what's your sales career? If you cannot make it to sales management, what do you do? Well, here you have a sales career progression because you drive towards mastery. And believe me, my best recognition was when one of the guys came to me extremely serious. He was Ariba EMEA head. He came to me saying, Axel, doing the master was the best thing that could happen to me in my life. And I mean it. Well, you know, when you get those type of message from salespeople, maybe you did something right. Usually I get, I don't want to go to your training. So okay. Incubation, internal delivery, yes. The problem is cost. The problem is money. So, of course, everyone is asking me, Axel, okay, put all that in place, pilot it. In 2021, make sure you do it internally. So I will have to work on that, make sure that we train the trainer, we use what we have, and we make it work. I don't believe it can fly. I'm going to test it. Yet, we know cost is an issue. We need to balance out with cloud-type revenue. Margin is an issue. So I'm going to work that out. But believe me, sales career for your top guys is the problem. As a sales learning organization, it's not the newbies. It's the more tenured. How do you motivate them? You can only motivate them with this at the moment. Beyond money, of course. I spent 9 years telling SAP it's not about knowledge, it's not about skills, it's about mindset. Funnily enough, since 2 years, mindset seems to be, woohoo, the great stuff. Cool, because someone wrote that amazing book, Growth Mindset, Fixed Mindset. I guess you need to think about mindset. Mindset is key. And it is for the most motivated, not the best sales guy, the most motivated sales guy. You need learning agility, learning flexibility, and you need to start from the core. The core is the value, the core is the belief system. Based on that comes the vision. From the vision comes the behavior, and the behavior drives action. That's how it works, not the other way around. So just work with your growth mindset. Your best sales guys who are growth mindset driven, start changing, start transforming from the inside, and let this incubate through your organization. That's the message I wanted to pass today. Thank you. Question? Yes?
Question. Are those degrees open, or are they just SAP? They can't just stick to doing it for other companies as well? This program.
This program, is it only for SAP? So I designed it for SAP, that's the difference. So 50% of the content is only SAP driven. Yet, we included once someone from HP who wanted to be in the program. Since then, Toshiba, HP, 3 other companies came to me and started building it. And the framework is there. You go to Consalia and to Middlesex and you take it. We build it, so now it's there, right? And if you have any questions on that, let me know. Because we are into the research field and academia field, we are open to collaboration. There is nothing confidential here. We are here to bring the best value to our customers. It's not a question of how do we compete. Yeah? The best will win. But we need to raise up in terms of consciousness and in terms of efficiency. So it's there. Yes?
Just a quick question. Did SAP fund it? Because I Googled it. It's quite expensive. Like, do you fund it for those learners to go through that academic program?
Yeah, that's why currently I keep it limited. The problem being global is that I cannot influence local HR. The US, for instance, if you go into the program, say, if you leave SAP within 3 years, you need to pay back. But you cannot do that in France or in Germany. So the fact is we sponsor those guys with the agreement that those people will become the leader of the future. So it's also, by the way, a very strong motivation to remain because some competitors are paying good money. And I know. And the thing is, this is really, funnily enough, really a reason to stay. Because believe me, the people you find 2 years down the road are not the same you found at the beginning. And they're the best guys. But the difference is just unbelievable. It's a great change. Yes?
Are there any professional associations that you've approached about creating MSc that's not just the university, but sort of a wider sales profession?
We work with, Consalia is part of the APS, okay, Association of Professional Sales. They are not directly included within this, but they are in there. Because the problem we have currently is what are the skills of the future? And I'm still asking that question since 10 years, but anyway. So APS is around that through the Consalia Middlesex framework. And new universities are now coming saying we want that as well, because it's the new stuff, right? So at the moment, I'm balancing the costs with the complexity, the duration, because of course PG Cert is much cheaper, and 3 months is different. You don't need university for that, you do it yourself. So you just need to balance the pressure, the motivation, the costs, and the duration. Yeah.
So do you believe that you can change mindset, or do we just need to hire the right mindset into our organizations?
I mean, we do change mindset. This changes mindset. You cannot change mindset without reflection. The problem is, on a transactional basis, with high pressure, your time to reflection, that the army called white wall gazing, is extremely low. When you ask a manager how much time do you spend white wall gazing, thinking about the future, projecting the vision, speaking the vision, it's less than 5%. In the army, they are 60%. So between those two, through the masters, because of the structure of the masters, you get them in a reflection level at least of 30%. Through reflection comes deep belief change. If you get rid of the reflection, do forecast, give me numbers, do forecast, sorry, your reflection gets limited to those spreadsheets, right? So when you get them and say, okay, think innovatively about your role, only that question, what has changed? And they're like, yeah, okay, how do you do it? What else would you do? You can do it, by the way. You can extract all that and put it into leadership training if you want. The problem of leadership training is always the same. You do those 2-day training, it's fabulous, memorable, you go back and you get squeezed by the usage gap. So what we do with the master is that we keep that pressure. You cannot escape or you lose your degree. You cannot escape the reflection. You need to write every quarter your research document. You are assessed. You need to tell how you've learned. You need to reflect and explain how you have put that into practice, what you learn, what are the outcomes. This Gibbs model is changing the whole stuff. It's the game changer. Thank you.